There is a moment, quiet, absolute, when the breath leaves the body and something deeper follows. Those who have watched someone die speak of the shift. One instant, the person is there. The next, something is missing. The face is the same, the body unchanged, but the presence, the essence, is gone. What is it that leaves? What slips beyond our reach, yet remains more real than the body that housed it? The Vedic sages called it the subtle body, the invisible sheath that carries the soul across lifetimes. You are not just flesh and bone. You are not just mind and thought. You are layered, luminous, vast. The physical body is the outermost layer, temporary, fragile, visible. But behind it, within it, around it, exist subtler layers that do not die with the body. These layers are not fantasy. They are the energy that animates you. They are the reason your thoughts have weight, your emotions have form, your intentions shape outcomes. The subtle body, or Sukshma Sharira, is composed of mind, intellect, ego, and life force. It is the interface between the immortal soul and the physical world. It holds memory, karma, and impressions from this life and many others. When you die, your physical body returns to the earth, but your subtle body does not vanish. It continues. It carries with it everything unresolved, every desire, every fear, every habit you did not transform. Death is not an erasure. It is a transition, a shedding of the outer garment, while the inner traveler moves forward. This traveler, your subtle body, seeks continuity. It follows the currents of karma. It gravitates toward the conditions that match its frequency. Just as water finds its level, the soul finds the body that fits its next lesson. This is why some people are born with deep talents, irrational fears, or a sense of déjà vu. The subtle body brings more than memory. It brings momentum. The journey from life to death and back is not linear. It is cyclical. The soul descends into matter, gathers experience, and then returns to refine, to resolve, to remember. But most people are unaware of this process. They live as if this body is all there is, as if death is the end, as if the soul must be proven instead of simply known. But if you have ever sensed more than the material, more than logic, then you have already touched the subtle. That feeling of being watched when no one is there. That intuition that speaks before the mind has caught up. That emotion that wells up without cause. These are the echoes of your deeper layers. At death, these layers begin to separate. First, the body loses animation. Breath stops, heart stops. Then, slowly, the subtle body begins to unbind. For those who are conscious at the moment of death, it is a passage, a movement through layers, a release. The subtle body leaves through the breath, through the crown, or through one of the energy centers, depending on the consciousness of the individual. The peaceful ones go gently, like smoke rising from a flame. The fearful ones cling, resist, tremble. But in the end, all must go. No one can hold on to the body forever. And what you take with you is not your name, your wealth, your status, but your consciousness, your patterns, your choices, your subtle imprint. This is why inner work matters. Why silence, presence, forgiveness, and clarity are not just luxuries, but preparations. Death is not the enemy. Forgetfulness is. Attachment is. Identification is. When you live only for the surface, death feels like loss. But when you live in touch with your depth, death becomes return. Not to nothingness, but to essence. Not to darkness, but to light. The subtle body is the vehicle of this return. It holds your soul until it no longer needs form, until it has seen through illusion, until it remembers fully. You have felt this body. When your breath deepens during meditation, when your skin tingles from a moment of truth, when your thoughts quiet and all that remains is presence. That is you, beneath the noise. That is what continues. And though science cannot yet measure it, the heart knows. The heart remembers, because the heart is closer to the subtle than the brain. The soul does not speak in data. It speaks in stillness. What leaves when you die is not you, but the costume. The one who dies is the temporary visitor, the one who watches it happen. That's you. That's what you've always been, and what you'll always be. The journey of the subtle body after death depends on the clarity of the soul. If you have lived unconsciously, clinging to identity, reacting to every fear, chasing external worth, then the subtle body remains heavy, clouded, restless. It drifts in confusion, pulled toward the same patterns it knew in life. But if you lived with awareness, if you questioned illusion, released attachments, and cultivated presence, then the subtle body is light. It ascends easily, like mist rising from still water. In both cases, there is no judgment. The universe does not punish. It reflects. It simply matches your inner state with the experience that resonates. Like a tuning fork, your vibration determines where you land next. Some souls move on quickly, others linger. Not all rebirths are immediate. Some subtle bodies wait, in between realms, in quiet dimensions of reflection, guided by higher beings or pulled by unresolved ties. And eventually, the call comes. The alignment forms. A new body becomes available. Not randomly, but with exquisite intelligence. Not for comfort, but for growth. You are born again, not into punishment, but into opportunity. The subtle body reattaches to form, weaving itself into a new mind, a new heart, a new vessel. And yet, the essence remains. The soul carries a continuity that no name or face can change. This is why some children speak of past lives, why a smell, a sound, a face can trigger unexplainable emotion, why love sometimes feels like recognition instead of discovery. The subtle body remembers. It carries the blueprint, the unresolved karma, the skills, the fears, the tendencies. These are not accidents. They are echoes. They are the threads being rewoven in this life. But the deeper truth is this. The subtle body is also a temporary vehicle. Just like the physical body, it too is eventually outgrown. It too must be transcended. When the soul has remembered enough, when it no longer identifies with mind, thought, desire, or self, the subtle body dissolves. What remains is pure awareness. The soul does not move anymore. It simply is. It rests in its source. This is liberation, not as escape, but as reunion. Not an afterlife reward, but the return to what never left. The drop realizing it is ocean. The breath realizing it is wind. The light realizing it was never separate from the sun. But until that moment, the journey continues. And in that journey, there is meaning, there is choice, there is growth. This life you're living now, it matters. Not in how long you live, but in how fully. Not in what you gather, but in what you remember. You are not here to escape the world. You are here to see through it, to live with your feet on the earth and your awareness in the eternal, to do the inner work that will carry you well, not just to the end of this life, but beyond it. The subtle body is always with you. It is the field through which your thoughts ripple, the space in which your emotions rise, the thread that connects you to what came before and what comes next. You can feel it now if you listen, in the stillness between breaths, in the space behind your eyes, in the moment before thought arises. That is where the subtle body lives. That is where the soul watches. that is where you truly are. Death is not the end. It is not a tragedy. It is not a failure. It is a doorway. And what passes through that doorway is not your name, not your title, not your possessions. What passes through is your essence, your awareness, your truth. So live with care, speak with presence, love with depth, forgive easily. Let go of what does not serve the soul. What you carry in life is what you carry through death. The subtle body will hold your imprint. Make that imprint a blessing. Let your life be a preparation for clarity. Let your dying be a soft exhale, not a fearful grasp. Let your soul rise without burden. Let it shine without question. Let it remember, fully, finally, that it was never the body to begin with. You are not what leaves. You are what remains. You are not the one who dies. You are the one who awakens, always, again, and again, and again.